Federal financial aid regulations require the confirmation of student participation in order for students to receive federal aid. In order to meet these regulations, LSU financial aid and scholarships must be able to verify participation in all college courses at two specific points during the term: the census date, which is the last day for students to add courses or change sections, and the last day of the course. As an instructor, you are responsible for assigning academic activities that students must complete by both of these dates. LSU tracks this academic engagement using a Moodle-generated report that is viewed by financial aid and scholarships after the census date. Instructors are responsible for creating a grade-eligible academic activity that is due by the census date, indicating the activity by adding AEA, which stands for Academic Engagement Activity, to the activity's title, applying the due date setting for the activity in Moodle, and enabling the activity completion settings in Moodle. The academic engagement activity can be in the form of a quiz, a discussion forum, or another academic assignment that engages students with the course content. However, introductory icebreaker activities, office hour appointments, or activities like syllabus quizzes cannot be used in place of an academic engagement activity as they do not satisfy these requirements. When adding this activity to your course, ensure that the completion criteria and due dates are set in the activity's Moodle settings prior to the first day of the term. To do this, start by clicking the Edit button under the activity name. Look through the activity settings on the right side of the page until you see Timing or Availability settings. You will need to enable the date settings by selecting the Enable checkbox before you will be able to enter the date. To enter the due date, you can either select the calendar icon and choose the date from the calendar view, or you can use the Day, Month, Year drop menus to set the date manually. You can then use the drop menus to set the time. Note that Moodle uses the 24-hour clock format. The location of the availability and due date settings will vary by the activity type. To add completion criteria, look through the activity settings on the right side of the page until you see Activity Completion. Select the completion criteria that best fit the activity or use those described in the Moodle template instructions. However, we advise against only using the "Student must view this activity to complete it" criterion, as it does not meet academic engagement activity requirements. If you are using a forum as the academic engagement activity, you will also need to set the expected completion date. To do this, scroll to the bottom of the activity completion options. Click the box beside Enable and enter the census date. You can find this date on the official academic calendar listed as the last day to add courses for credit or change sections. You can find the academic calendar on the Office of the University Registrar's page. Once you return to the module, check to make sure the correct date appears under the activity name before continuing. You should also convey the expectations for this activity in the syllabus, a course announcement, and in the instructional language for the activity so that students are aware of the firm deadline in advance. Although students are required to complete this activity by the term census date, instructors do not have to have the activity graded by this day. However, if course activities are completed in a third-party publisher site, completion of such activities are not captured in Moodle. In such cases, instructors must enter the grade in the Moodle gradebook as evidence of student engagement.
For LSU Online courses, these grades must be entered within 48 hours following the census date.
In addition to this activity, students must also complete an academic engagement activity that is due on the last day of the term, meaning that they must complete the activity by that date. This is to confirm participation for the entire course duration. Examples of this activity include the completion of the course final exam, final project, or a reflection activity. When planning your course activities and due dates, remember to include these in your overall course plan. When you choose what kind of activities these will be, consider how long students will have to complete them and what other work will be due at that time. This concludes the academic engagement requirement for reporting purposes video. For more information on setting activity completion criteria or enabling due dates in Moodle, visit groq.lsu.edu. If you have any other Moodle or technology-related questions or would like assistance, please contact the Faculty Technology Center at 225-578-3375, option 2, or ftc@lsu.edu.